The Demon of Blue Lock versus the King of Blue Lock. A debate that, everybody's been a little bunched over, TikTok, YouTube, literally any social media platform. This debate has been going on. And people have been getting a little bit controversial with why they think Barrow wins and why they think Shidou wins. But today I'm here to, as usual, give the facts, the statements, the feats, the narrative, why one of these players are overlapping the other one. Now, with this topic in particular, these two players are very, very heavy striker oriented players. Now, what I mean by this is you have players like Isagi and Ren that have more of a controlled play style in their movements. Ren is more fluid and, he can pass the ball excellently, and he can do things with the ball besides just shooting. Same thing with Isagi. Even Isagi's still trying to dodge the Cam allegations, right? But with Shidou and Barou in particular, these are two heavy oriented strikers. Shooting is their main thing. They love scoring goals, and they're both two selfish players, if I do say so myself. But before we even get into the actual argument itself, there is one thing I want to debunk on Barou's side, and that is the fact that people are using Barrow having his Uber system to kind of belittle his skills. And I just want to tell you, if you were watching this video and you believe that, I want you to very much listen to what I'm about to say. So throughout the entire time you've read the manga of Blue Lock and you've seen Barrow play, when is there one time where Barrow has had the entire team on his side besides first selection? Matter of fact, take that out of account. Not even a first selection. Barrow has been a solo player, a one player versus 20. That has always been his thing. It's the same thing with Shidou actually. Barrow does not like working together with people. Now, in the Ubers system, the reason why he does this is because, well, he admits the system is safe and it was the best way for him to improve at the time, right? But let's be aware of something very clearly. Barrow does not need a team to perform, right? He has these skills to perform on his own, and we've seen this. We've seen this in the U20 game. We've seen this in second selection. We've seen this in first selection. So the fact that people are trying to say like, oh, he can't do anything without Ubers, oh, he needs a whole team behind his back, he doesn't. He literally proves to us in that game that he doesn't. He can get past anybody he wants. He can shoot from long. And it's like the fact that he has these allegations on him is hilarious to me. This entire player's game is working by himself for the most part. And for a few games, he decides to team up and actually be a team player, and people are trying to debunk his striker skills for that. No, it doesn't belittle him as a striker. I think that them passing to him has nothing to do with how he plays as a striker, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there because I was so sick of people trying to use that stupid argument about Barrow needs an entire team behind him. Oh, Barrow needs an entire team behind him, right? No, that's not how that works, right? We're talking about soccer, all right? So let's actually get into the real debate. I'm sorry I had to go on that little rant, right? But let's start and talk about their physicals, right? Now, Barrow is a physically dominant player. He is really strong. He's able to even be comparable to powerhouse players like Kunigami that are lifting a lot, right? So in terms of physicality, raw physicality, moving people out of the way, especially with his charge weapon, I think physical strength goes to Barrow as far as being the better physical striker, right? So I will say though, Shidou does not have the amount of physical strength that Barrow has, but I do think that Shidou is faster when it comes to movement and how fast he is and agile he is. His agility, of course, we've seen the things that he can do. He can shoot without looking at the penalty box. He can jump in the air very high. He can perform bicycle kicks like it's nothing. So agility is literally no doubt he gets agility. And I do think he's faster when it comes to how fast he was able to react to Kaiser about to shoot the ball, and he was even able to get there before him. And Kaiser is also a significantly fast player. So I think that on the physical strength side, Barou gets that. On the speed side, Shidou gets that too, and it's not close for either of them. I think Barou could probably shift Shidou out the way if he really wanted to, and I think Shidou could just outmaneuver Barou if he wanted to as well, right? So let's talk about their defense, right? Now, Barou doesn't have that many defensive feats, but we do get a few defensive feats from him in the Uber's game after his awakening, or he shoves the system aside where he hops back on defense and starts guarding Kaiser, and he's able to even block Isagi and Kaiser's shot with the help of Ryu. So that's pretty solid. But I do want to note that Shidou does have a pretty good defensive feat, and that's being able to kind of 50 stop Hiyori's pass and kind of in a way outspeed the Kaiser impact, in particular with his header. If everybody saw, I'll probably show the panel on the screen. She was able to get to the pass before Kaiser and head the pass away. Now Hiyori is one of the best midfielders in Blue Lock as we speak. His passes are on the level of Sai Itoshi, that is very clear. And for Shidou to even be able to intercept that, I think is a little bit more impressive than Barou getting help from Ryu to block a Kaiser and Isagi shot that was stated to be off balance because they strike the ball at different times in a way, right? So next, I think Shidou gets defense, but next, how good they are at passing and linking up. Now, Barou, I honestly do think takes this, right? And I'm gonna say why. The Uber system helped him when it came to linking up with an entire team system and working together with them and having them bend to his will. Now Shidou, on the other hand, late in the game, started to pass to Ren, but it's not anything super impressive besides him just tapping the ball to Ren, giving it to him. Ren is not linking up with him, he's not passing the ball back. It's just a pass and then Ren goes with it. So I do think in terms of linking up and working together as a team, Barou definitely takes that, right? And next thing I want to talk about, I know that was very quick, but next thing I want to talk about is their dribbling. Now, Shidou is actually very underrated when it does come to dribbling. He actually does have an aggressive dribble style. This gets noted in second selection in episode Nagi, that he has an aggressive dribbling way. But in terms of raw actual feats of dribbling and getting by players, Barou definitely takes this, and that is because of his feint chops. Now, although everybody, and I mean everybody in Blue Lock, should know damn better that this is Barou's only dribbling move that he spams, it still works and people fall for it. So that's a feat in its own, right? So I think in terms of getting past opponents and, getting up the field, it's definitely Barou. But I will say in off the ball movements, Shidou undeniably takes it. Shidou can maneuver past almost anybody besides somebody super, super physically on the level of Noah like Kunigami. So, that kind of gets a little bit harsh. But the next one, and the biggest one that I know all of you want to hear, is their actual shooting. Who is the better shooter? Barou and Shidou. And the fact that this is more of the heavily debated things is kind of funny to me. I do 100% think that Shidou is the better striker. And I do want to note that Barou's Predator Eye doesn't give him an edge in this debate. I say that because, first of all, it's a little hinted at that Shidou might already have Predator's Eye. Like, we see it in the PhD game. But even without that, it's stated by Isagi twice, by the way, once in third selection and once in the Neo Egoist League, that Shidou is practically unstoppable, invincible in the penalty area. So that means goals for him in the penalty area are like easy. They're like grabbing a quarter off the ground. It's easy licks, right? So Shidou's spatial awareness in the box is so good that it's impossible to stop him. Now, Barou does have Predator's Eye again, and he does have a few weapons of his when it comes to shooting. But I don't think any of these weapons get him past the fact that Shidou can just score anything in the penalty box. And if he gets to the penalty box, he's literally impossible to stop. Now, Barou does have a longer range than him, a longer consistent range and a consistent shooting method. but I truly do think that the better striker here is Shidou. He showed, and personally, better feats, better statements of him just being the better raw shooter, raw striker, right? Now, their actual field intelligence is pretty interesting, because I do have two different opinions on this. I do think Barou has a higher level of field intelligence than Shidou if we're talking about overall game and outside the box shooting. But if we're talking about when he's inside the box, sorry if it seems like I'm glazing him, but if we're talking about when he's inside the box and he is getting the ball towards him, his spatial awareness is extremely high, to the point where, again, he is nearly unstoppable and he can see everything. And it's to the point where he could probably shoot and hit a goal without even actually looking at it, because it's like that's his home. He knows it like the back of his head. It's insane. But talking about all of this, we are finally down to the verdict, right? And I have two different verdicts. As a overall player, I do think the better one between them is Barou. I do think it is Barou, right? And I think it's Barou specifically off of the fact that we see in the Uber system he's able to link up with an entire team and have the team bent as well, which not a lot of people can do. Barou also does have solid defense, and he can dribble on his own if he wants to, right? And he's a physically dominant player. I would say he's the more consistently reliable striker. He's the more consistently reliable striker. But if we're talking about overall shooting, right? And the only person that is virtually unstoppable at some point of his game is Shidou, right? And I do think the overall better striker at scoring goals is Shidou. And that's specifically because, again, I know I'm about to sound like a broken record, he does not miss in the penalty box. But his problem is the fact that his shooting percentage is weird, because sometimes Shidou won't take shots in the box and he'll just recklessly shoot. But 9 times out of 10, he's going to give you about a hat trick almost every time when he's scoring. I just think that's undeniable, especially in the penalty box, right? So, verdict: Barou, better player; Shidou, better striker, honestly. And in the context of Blue Lock, I do think that being the better striker is more important than being the better player, if that's what they want to be good at, right? So, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I really liked covering this topic, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would appreciate it if you liked, and if you subscribed as well, if you want to see more content like this, or check out any of my older videos, and comment, because you might have a different opinion than me. You might be able to enlighten me on this topic if you think I'm wrong. But I would appreciate that, and have a great day, have a great night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.